So when you are presenting the findings, the first thing that you have to think about making known to your audience is providing background information. And in terms of background information, there are two main issues or things that you have to present. The first one is to present a description of the setting, and the second one is to present participant demographics, right? So in terms of the setting, it's quite, it's not required for you to provide a setting. So the setting could be the situation that maybe participants find themselves, so that readers will get the feel of the situation or the environment participants find themselves. If you think that providing that information will help your readers to better understand your findings, you can provide that information to your audience, right? The setting can also be information about how you collected your data, right? Any kind of experiences that you had that you have not provided in detail in maybe your methodology chapter, you can bring that information, just a brief information about your experience. What happened when you were interview participant? When you went there, did you wait? Did you talk to participant? What was your participant reaction? Was it any kind of delay? Was it any kind of technical problem that you want to share? Any background information that you think will be helpful to your readers, you can bring that information, describe it in a very meaningful manner, not confusing manner, right? Well structured in a chronological manner will be very helpful. As I said, it's not compulsory for you to do that, it's optional, but if you have some information that will be helpful for your audience, that would be great. But another thing is that you have to be very careful providing this information. You have to make sure that providing this information will not adversely affect the privacy and confidentiality of participants, right? So describing the location, what you saw, what happened, do you think that it will expose or people will know participants? Then you shouldn't present that information. Always do things that will you protect participants. If you did not focus on participants and also you focus on collecting documents, a similar process, right? Describe the situation, how you were able to get access to the document, what are the difficulties, were some of the strategies that you use that you want to share for future researchers to learn about, right? But at the same time, be careful that you don't bring any information that can affect the organization or adversely affect the identity of the organization or the participant that you are focusing on, right? So after presenting the background setting or the description of the setting, you have to also present participant information, right? In terms of their demographics. And there are two options here. You can present it in the collective manner, or you can present it in individualized formats. So what is the collective format that I'm talking about? So let's say you focus on 5 participants and you are talking about gender. So you can say that maybe 2 out of 5 participants were males, right? So you are presenting the information in the collective manner. Or if you are talking about the age, you can say on average, participant age was 36, right? This is just an example. So you see how you can present the information in a collective manner or format. You can also present information in an individualized format, especially if you want to show the uniqueness of each participant. So you can say participant P1 is a male who is 32 years of age, and this. So you are describing each participant to help your readers to better understand the background of each participant. When you are presenting qualitative findings, it's always advisable to present participant information in an individualized way, so that when you are citing or you are quoting participant, people can understand or know who you are quoting. Are you quoting participant 1? Let me go and see who is participant 1. You already have the description, unique description of participant 1 for me to really better understand what participant was saying. So And normally when you are doing a qualitative presentation of the findings, you always have to consider presenting the background information or participant background in an individualized manner, unless presenting that will adversely affect confidentiality and privacy of participants. Then you shouldn't present that individualized way. And you can also present both. You can present in a collective way and an individualized way, right? The most important thing is that giving readers enough information to help them to know the background of participants. And also you can also create a table. And also we have two types. We have the individualized one and then the collective one. So the table one, you see the collective one, gender and the number of participants who are males and number of participants who are females and ethnicity. This one has been presented in a collective one. And then you can also present it in an individualized format where you have P1, the age and the gender and the number of years experience and other things. For qualitative presentation, always we recommend that you present the data in an individualized manner so that people, as I said, people know who your participants are, especially when you want to quote participants, right? But you can also present both if it's going to help you to communicate effectively who you spoke to or collected information from.